So you're ready to learn how to get guaranteed results for a marketing program, right? Yesterday I teased you with the fact that, hey, I know how to get guaranteed results through a co-branded email program. Today, we're going to deliver on that. Hello, my name is Bill Arnold. I am president of Prevail Marketing, and every single day we give you some ideas, suggestions, techniques, things to how to grow your business through better sales and marketing. Programs that we have utilized ourselves for our clients very recently that is built upon extensive experience through a number of different people. And yesterday I told you about a particular client, and I'm just going to read the numbers here. They were promised 3,922 market qualified leads for $1.27 per lead. That's what they were promised. What we delivered was 7,678 market qualified leads at 65 cents per lead. We almost doubled what we promised them and reduced by almost half the cost for doing it. The correlation there, right? And that's the kind of thing we want to talk about, how you accomplish that. Now, if you want more detail, go to prevailmarketing.com. But before I get anywhere, I'm going to ask one favor before I divulge this secret. Just one favor. Take the moment right now to like, subscribe, follow, preferably follow, subscribe, because we need to know that we're resonating with people. So if you do that, that would be the law of reciprocity. That's what I'm asking for in return for this program that works. And if you don't understand how it works after I'm done, give me a call and I'll walk you through it. Okay, that's my commitment to you. So the first step you have to do when you have a co-brand email partner, and if you aren't sure what those are, look at the video we did yesterday. You need to pick the right partner to do this, the host partner, the one who's going to send your emails out. That is the most critical step in this entire program. And I'm going to tell you the elements you need to look for. The first one is the relevance to your target market. It has to be a company that has an association, that has helped, that has educated, that has communicated, that has membership of your targeted persona. So, example, if you're targeting lawyers, American Bar Association. If you're targeting architects, the Architects Institute of America, I think I pronounced that right. They're the kind of people, obviously you wouldn't go after the architects and go to the ABA. It's not relevant, right? So you got to pick something that's highly relevant. Okay, that's number one. Number two, find an organization with a large membership. If you got someone who only has 10,000 members, it's really hard to have an effective program. I require that at least have 100,000 members on a subscription list that they regularly email to. That's 100,000 people of my exact target market. So they may be a subsect. Maybe it's litigation section of ABA and I'm on litigators. They have to have 100,000 on their list. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to send an email or ask to send an email to all 100,000. Probably not. Probably just 20,000 at the most. Probably what I'm going to do is send 120,000 email out. Okay, we'll get to why in a minute. So the other part they have to have is a regular email program. They got to be on a regular basis, be sending out informational, educational, quality content to their subscribers. Why? Because if they don't and they all of a sudden get a one-off email, well, first off, no one can tell you what the open rate is, the click-through rate, or the engagement rate would be because they don't do it enough. But they're not likely to expect that. You know, we want an organization where the membership is expecting on a regular basis they would get an email from that association that's going to elevate their business practice. It's going to help them grow by giving them good information. And that's what these associations do, like ABA and the Architects Association and others like this. That goes back to the well-respected organization, okay? You have to have something like the American Bar Association or the American Institute for Architects. Those are respected organizations, and why they're respected because they support, they educate, they help their membership. Now, I've done it with publications as well. There's lots of legal publications I've used have the same benefit, and but you have to find something. It doesn't work as well when there's a individual or a for-profit organization that's not educational informational. But you find something that is an association, you're going to hit a home run with this, okay? Next thing you have to do is, and this is why you have to have a lot of people on the list and have regular emails, they have to have a well-documented open click-through rate and engagement rates. Well documented. So they can say, look, now the average email here gets this kind of open rate, has this kind of click-through rate, and this type of engagement rate. They will know these numbers, and they will use these numbers to try to entice you to use their program. Great. I love when they do that because you know what? And by the way, we look for postcards have at least a 40% open rate. That's critical, okay? And reason I want them to give me those numbers and broadcast those numbers and share those numbers is because here's the next step. I say to them, I will run a campaign with you under one condition, just one. Those rates you quoted me, you guarantee them. And what I mean by guaranteeing is if we run the first campaign and it doesn't achieve the open rate, the click-through rate, and the engagement rate that you say you get, you're going to run it again until we get those rates. And you know what? 95% of the time. I mean, I say 95% because there probably was one that didn't happen, but I can't think of it. 95% of the time, they will do that. Why? Because it's not a big deal. Sending out another email to them is not really going to be that much of a problem because they really think that they're going to get that. And normally they do. I also try to add another caveat to it. And sometimes they suggest it, sometimes I suggest it, but look. And sometimes we don't, they may not agree to it up front, but they will later on. I say, look, we have to go back at another bite of the apple. You know, sending the same information to the same group is not likely to make your people happy. They're going to be kind of pissed off at you because you just sent them one. So you either got to send this to a new batch, not the same 20,000 you sent it to, but another batch of 20,000. That's right, you have 100,000. Or you got to let me send another piece of content that may resonate with the original batch. I don't care which one, but you need to do one or the other. And they will agree to that because they want the integrity of the program. You know, if they don't get those results, they feel bad because they can't quote those to the next person. So they want to be able to go back and say, we always get this. So that's number one. Number two part of this program is what should be co-branded. First off, you start out with two things. You start out with your buyer personas. You should know what messaging and what type of content is going to resonate with those buyer personas. And if you don't know how to run a good buyer persona program, and I suspect many don't because I've seen most companies just kind of make it up out of whole cloth based upon something a salesperson might think or believe. If you don't know how to run and create a buyer persona, before you do anything else with marketing, before you do anything else at all, any paid demand, any content creation, any creating your website, anything, figure out who your targeted buyer personas are, their pain points, interests, and concerns at every stage of that buyer's journey, what messaging they need to hear, see, and touch and feel in order to make that next step down the navigation down the sales funnel. Where they go for information, third-party verification, what type of experts they rely upon and trust and follow. Those are the kind of elements you need to find out. Now, if you don't know how to do that, I've got 2 blogs, I've got 2 videos that describe exactly how to do that. Go look to how to create buyer personas and buyer personas, the foundation of strategic marketing. It'll give you that information. But based on that, that's not enough, okay? You want to test the relevance of what you're sending out. How do you test relevance? I never send anything out that's brand new and on a paid demand basis. Never. Because I don't know how it's going to resonate. I may think I know. I may suspect I know. But I don't know. And I've been surprised many times. What I thought would resonate didn't do as well as it should. And what I didn't think would resonate, they all met the buyer persona but did much better. You know, sometimes it's that way. And so I test the relevance. What I mean by that is I will only use something that has been proven to be effective in organic traffic. Stuff that I've done, put out through organic push, and it seemed to resonate. Now, I've heard some people say, well, you know, maybe they're going to think it's old or it's used or they're not going to want that. I say, fine. Then what you do, you take that good content you know worked, you add a few chapters, change the title to say, newly revised and updated, and it will be. So the other thing you need to do is what has worked. What I mean by that is your host email provider will tell you what types of content, what type of topics, what type of materials has worked very, very well. Doesn't mean you have to do that, but you need to know and factor that in. And finally, there should be something of high production value. You want something that's really going to have great graphics, great polish, you know, the text should be done. It should be the best you have to offer because this may be your one and only chance of trying to capture this audience. And you need to make sure that first impression is going to be a home run. Let's talk about the format. And first off, the format you should not use is do not send things like blog posts, small guidebooks, 2 to 4 page guidebooks, infographics, or 1-page sales sheets. No, you know what? Nobody's going to want to exchange their email address, their information, the contact information for something of low value. It should be a long form ebook. When I say long form, 50 plus pages. Mine tend to be 75 or more. A webinar or podcast with a respected co-speaker. That's important. You know, they may not want to show up to have you, but you bring an influencer that they know in the industry, they trust, they believe, and you're having an event with them, they're going to show up in droves. Videos. Videos can be done for high production value. And interactive gamification apps. I've used that for gaming customers where, you know what, I can't send them certain things. I'll get that in a minute. The format, I can't send them an ebook. They're going to balk at that, aren't they? But I can send them something that's a gamification, that's an app. That's the type of content you want to send them. Let's talk about the actions you want them to do, how you get them to do it. Every single thing you do, they should be sent to a landing page, specifically and uniquely for that offer. The landing page needs to be done for best practices. And what do I mean by that? Immediately when they click through, I click on that CTA, I need to get immediate validation. Immediate validation that what I did is what I was seeking, what I wanted, what I expect to get is exactly what I'm getting. Have an image of what they're getting. Have a reinforcing content, words that speak, that make sure they, oh, okay. 72-page action-packed guide, whatever. You know how we do that. Limit the options on the page. How many times you go to a landing page and they got a full navigation menu at the top, they got their social media at the bottom, they've got, 2 to 3 different options on there? No. When you send them a landing page, you want them to do one task and only one task. You want them to download that ebook or provide whatever information they're going to give you, whatever you're going to actually want. You want them to do just that. So you get rid of the top navigation, get rid of the bottom navigation, get rid of any other option other than the one thing you want them to do. Click on that CTA after giving their information. When you talk about giving information, limit what you're asking for. Today, I literally went and I saw something I thought I'd be interested in that piece of content. It was informational. It was about artificial intelligence. I said, well, I want to hear that. I want to see that. I want to read that. And when I went to the page, they asked me for 10 bits of information. 10 different, how big my company was, what my title was. It went on and on. You know what I did? No, thank you. I'm not going to give it to you. There's too much friction involved. Even though I had value, I went through all that process, I didn't click on it. I didn't download it. I didn't acquire it because it wasn't worth giving them all that. Not that any of it's secret. It's not, in fact. That's the whole point. It's not secret. All they had to do is get my first name, my last name, and my business email. And from that, you can go to LinkedIn, you can go to ZoomInfo, you can go to a lot of different third-party sites and find out everything you need to know about the size of my company. You find out about my title. You find out all the information, my website, all that's available if those 3 pieces of information. So all you ever want to ask for is first name, last name, and business email. Everything else you can find out. The other thing you need to do is get permission to send them future emails. I see a lot of companies neglect that thing, or try to hide it and say, go to our policies. Well, I don't believe in doing that. I don't believe that is the right way to do it. I, in fact, want them to know that they're giving permission, affirmatively giving permission, and they're going to. First, if you do it the right way. These people just are willing to give their contact information for this piece of content. If you say, we use the phrase, send me updates when new information is available, and they click that box. Well, of course, if the original information is valuable, don't you want to know about updates? Yeah, you do. And you're going to check that box. The second thing that's going to happen is the laws of commitment and consistency, which states that once a person commits to a course of action, they're more inclined to take the follow-up steps that align with that decision. That's why when you buy a car and you said, okay, I'm ready to do that, then they start throwing in, you want the undercoating, you want this upgrade here, because you know what? You're more likely to say yes because those are smaller little incremental decisions. You already made the big one, and you're going to go forward and say that. So that's Robert Cialdini, the Psychology of Influence. Again, I invite you to go back to our website and read about that, but that's why they'll do it. So always get permission. Finally, say thank you. Okay, send them so once they click on that CTA, the subscriber should then go to a thank you page, which says thank you for downloading this piece of content, for subscribing to this webinar, to whatever they did. Thank you. Why do you want to do that? 2 reasons. 1, you're trying to build a relationship with that person, and you want to ratify that you appreciate and value them. So you say thank you. You give them an opportunity at that moment to download if there's a piece of content or add to their calendar if it's a webinar. And finally, on that page, you have a secondary call to action. On that page, underneath it all saying, could be, would you like this additional related material? Or would you like to contact a salesperson? Again, the laws of commitment and consistency, once they've done this, they're more inclined to do that at that moment in time. So you always give them that next step. You always eliminate friction. If you follow these programs, if you do what I'm saying here, you will get guaranteed results, guaranteed MQLs from highly valuable, highly targeted personas that you would love to do business with. That's the program. Again, if you liked it, please like, please follow, please subscribe, please comment. And if you'd like to know how you can roll this out for your company, or have any other questions about sales and marketing, go to our website. Lots of ways you can reach out to us. Be happy to work with you and talk to you. Until tomorrow, have a great night.